Ugh. Yeah, you seriously have to put some strength in it to get any of it out of this squeezy bottle. Hey guys, my name is Sadie and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you're watching this video. Today we are talking skincare, specifically overrated and overhyped skincare. Many of the products I'm going to mention are widely loved, but in my experience and in my opinion, I think that they are overrated for what they are. I am coming from the perspective of not at all being a professional or a skincare expert. I'm speaking from my personal experience being on this skincare journey that I am on. On this skincare journey and throughout my life, I have tried a lot of different skincare products, many of which have been inspired by recommendations on the internet. And from my perspective, having more dry, combination, acne-prone, reactive skin, these products just haven't really worked out well for me or don't really have a place in my skincare routine. You may have a totally different experience from me, and I know many people have because some of these products are very widely loved, but personally they are just not my cup of tea. So without further ado, let's get into these overrated skincare products. Okay, some of the things I'm going to be talking about today are product categories, and others are going to be specific products themselves. The first product category I want to mention is Micellar Waters. The one that I have right here is the Garnier Micellar Water, and honestly I have had this for like over 4 years. I don't know why I still have it in my collection. Probably after today is the day to finally get rid of it. If you don't know what a micellar water is, it's pretty much just like a soapy water that is meant to be used for cleansing. When I first got into micellar waters, I was using it kind of in that toning step after doing my cleansing, but that is really not what micellar water should be used for. You're not going to want to use that on your skin after you've already cleansed because you don't want those cleansing ingredients that are in the micellar water to be left on your skin. This Garnier Micellar Water, I feel like when it first came out, it was so popular, and I feel like at the time that it came out, micellar waters weren't generally talked about or popular. And I know when this came out, there was already that really popular micellar water by Bioderma that a lot of beauty gurus were using. And when this came out, this was kind of like a dupe version of that. So as a first cleansing step, I don't necessarily think micellar water is bad, but it's just not the ideal version of a first step cleanser for me. I much prefer a oil or oil balm based first cleanse rather than something like a micellar water, because if you are wearing foundation or makeup on your skin, and if you're wearing layers of mascara, then you will end up using multiple cotton pads to really get all of that makeup off of your face. First of all, that's just creating unnecessary waste with those cotton pads, and second of all, you're just creating more of an opportunity for you to irritate your skin with that physicality of you wiping those cotton pads all over your face to get things off. I know some people who have really acne prone skin don't like to go in with an oil based cleanser, and for those people I would say a micellar water would be a good way to go. But personally, micellar water is a step that I just don't really like to do for my first cleanse. In my opinion, I think micellar water still has its specific time and place, maybe after you've cleansed and you still have a tiny bit of mascara left under your eyes after doing both of your cleansing steps. Then maybe you could go in with a micellar water, or again, like I mentioned, if you have very acne prone skin and avoid oil based products altogether and micellar water is really your only option for taking off your makeup, then sure. But in my opinion, micellar water really doesn't have a place in my skincare routine, and I think it's overrated. Alright, second type of overrated product in my opinion is clay masks. One that I have right here is the Body Shop Tea Tree Skin Clearing Clay Mask. This clay mask, similar to I feel like many clay masks out there, the benefits they are claiming are to be skin clearing, supposed to help with acne, but in my opinion, I feel like every clay mask that I have tried is just way too stripping and will just throw off the balance of your skin barrier. Perhaps if you're using clay mask in more targeted places around your face, perhaps if you have a super oily T-zone, then that could be a better use. And again, like I said, I'm speaking from the perspective of having more dry skin, so clay masks for me just feel extra stripping and way too tightening on that skin. Every time I wash clay masks off, it feels super tight and super dry and just feels like I've thrown component completely off balance. But if you have really oily skin, then clay masks could work well for you. I just think what clay masks claim and what they actually do for the skin just don't really align. And also, I'm thinking back in the beauty space online, maybe 2 or 3 years back, that Aztec Healing clay mask was super popular, and I feel like everyone was talking about it. And I could not believe the awful texture of that once I put it on my skin, and just how dry and irritated and really red my skin looked after using that. If you are dealing with issues of acne, it is not unlikely that you are also dealing with issues related to your skin barrier, and using something like a clay mask is not going to help those issues whatsoever. They are good for clearing up excess oil if you really are in excess. Masks in general, clay or not, are kind of supplemental to the skincare routine in general, in my opinion. I don't really use masks that often, sheet mask or hydrating mask. They're just kind of an extra fun step, but I don't really think are necessary to a good skincare routine, especially when it comes to clay masks. I have no room for that in your skincare routine, and I think for a lot of people, they're just not really necessary for what they do. A good exfoliant or perhaps a retinol, I feel like will be much better at dealing with those issues of acne on your skin. Skip the clay mask. Okay, speaking of dealing with acne, my next overrated product is Pimple Patches. These two I have right here are by the brand CosRX. And these are hydrocolloid dressings that are small little plastic patches that you can put over pimples or spots or breakouts. These have been really popular for a while, and also more recently, I feel like I've seen this first on TikTok, but now I feel like I'm seeing it everywhere. There is this band-aid version of these really large rectangular hydrocolloid patches. Those are pretty much the same thing as these right here. So what these patches are going to do is you'll place them over a breakout, and usually overnight they will suck all that gunk out of your skin, and you are left with a nasty patch of whatever was inside that spot that was on your face. This again is something that I feel like differs from person to person, but personally for me, I just don't really like using these type of products. I haven't tried the Band-Aid version, but they function pretty much the same as these acne patches. I've spoken about this before, but when it comes to dealing with acne, there is dealing with the causes of acne and then dealing with the effects of acne. And pimple patches, again, are just kind of like a band-aid solution. They are going to be a temporary solution. They're going to clean out that pimple in the moment, but it's not really dealing or helping with your issues of acne overall, and is not going to be a long-term solution for you. Every time that I would wake up in the morning after wearing a pimple patch, yes, it would be really satisfying to peel off that pimple patch and see all of that gunk that is left on there, but what was left on my face was just a really red, irritated cavity, essentially. I felt like every time I used these patches to treat certain spots on my face, I was left with more hyperpigmentation, more irritation on my skin, and a dark spot that would last so much longer rather than if I had just left it alone in the first place. And the area around that pimple is already so irritated and inflamed in the first place, so putting something like that patch on and then the act of peeling it off is really not going to help you in the end. The one application I do find these good for is if you have a pimple that is right under the skin. Throughout the day, it's good to throw one of these on so you're not touching it or constantly picking at it or adding more bacteria to that area already. So to prevent yourself from picking at it or touching it is the only reason that I would want to use one of these hydrocolloid patches or bandages. But it's so much better to approach your skin in not being reactive to what you see there and covering up and wanting to pull all that gunk out, but rather treating the causes of that, because that in the long term is what's going to heal your acne in the end, not these band-aid solutions. Alright, so I just touched on those 3 product categories, but now I want to get into some specific product themselves. The first product I want to mention is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. This product by First Aid Beauty is a very, very popular moisturizer. I believe it is one of the most highly rated moisturizers on Sephora's website. This contains colloidal oatmeal, which is a great ingredient for treating irritation and inflammation on the skin. Knowing that this is so highly rated and so well spoken about on Sephora, I really thought that I was going to love this moisturizer, but I absolutely did not. If there is one type of product in my skincare routine that I love to splurge on, it is definitely a nice moisturizer. This product just does not meet my preferences when it comes to moisturizers. I like moisturizers that just feel super rich and have a really nice slip to them, and to me this doesn't really meet either of those criterias. One of my favorite parts of skincare is getting to feel like you are pampering yourself while you're doing your skincare routine, and that self-care aspect of it. And when it came to using this product, it didn't really feel like I was treating myself when I was using this. It felt like I was applying some sort of like steroidal cream that was prescribed to me by my doctor. I don't know, there's just something clinical and sterile about this product. It doesn't feel sophisticated. In my opinion, it does not sink into the skin nicely and leaves almost this like mattifying, chalky finish on my skin. Maybe it's just me because I know that this product is very well loved, but this is definitely just not the moisturizer for me. Alright, speaking of very popular moisturizers which I do not like, the Cerave Moisturizing Cream. And some of the reasons why I don't like this product are similar to why I didn't like the previous moisturizer I just talked about. This product is very widely loved and very widely recommended by many dermatologists. Cerave as a brand overall is just one that many people love and is kind of one of those go-to drugstore brands. This is great for the body, but when it comes to using this on my face, again, similar to the First Day Beauty moisturizer, it doesn't feel like I'm pampering myself. And I know that is kind of shallow. I know not everyone looks at their skincare routine like that and can look at their skincare in a more utilitarian way where they're just trying to get things done. They don't care about the aesthetics or the experience. But for me, that is just kind of missing from this product. There are so many great things about this. It contains hyaluronic acid. It contains 3 different kinds of ceramides, which are going to be repairing to the skin. This is so great in theory, but when it actually comes to being in practice, I just don't love it for the face. Again, it's great for the body, but I don't love it for the face. In addition to just not being my preferences when it comes to moisturizer, it also feels just slightly too heavy on the skin. Yes, I do really love rich moisturizers, but this just feels a little too heavy and almost suffocating on the skin. I would also never want to use this in the morning, but even at night, I feel like it's still too heavy for me. I know so many people love this and I feel like I should love it, but I just don't. I'm sorry, Cerave. And one final product that I'm going to mention today is another one by Cerave, and it is the Healing Ointment. Alright, first off, the major downfall with this product specifically, the one that's in the squeezy bottle, is it is nearly impossible to squeeze it out of this bottle. Maybe if you live in a warmer climate it would come out, but like, yeah, you seriously have to put some strength in it to get any of it out of this squeezy bottle. So that is, you know, just obviously the major packaging downfall to this. And I know they do sell a different version of this that comes in a jar that is much easier to use than this one. So this product I feel like was being very widely talked about when the concept of slugging was becoming really popular. Slugging is not a new concept by any means, but that term specifically was recently popularized, and it's the idea of using something like this, a product that contains petroleum jelly or petrolatum as a final step on your skin at night just to kind of seal everything in. This healing ointment is also a step up from something like Vaseline because it's not just petroleum jelly, it has other ingredients in here including ceramides which are going to be repairing to your skin. The idea of slugging is to have that protective layer and film on your face to lock everything in and make sure it stays in overnight. But to me this was just way too much to be using all over my face every night like some people were recommending. The term slugging is just very accurate in describing what this feels like on your face. You really feel like slimy and sticky, and that feeling will not go away pretty much until you wash it off or if you've rubbed it all off on your pillow at night. I truly don't understand how people can sleep with this product all over their face unless they kind of like sleep in a coffin or sleep on their back without moving whatsoever. As someone who likes to sleep on my side or my stomach or just all over the place, this would just get everywhere on my pillowcase and just is not a practical product to use overnight. And slugging is just not something that is necessary for people every day. If you have extremely dry or chapped skin, then yes, that would be a great use for this. Or if you're trying to heal a scar, or if you have really bad eczema, those could all be great uses for this product. And with the amount that people were recommending this online, you would think that it is a miracle product that you need in your skincare routine, but truly it is not. This is something that you would use in kind of those worst case scenarios if you have nothing else to turn to, or if you are healing from some sort of treatment, this would be great to use. But for most people, on most occasions, this is not a necessary product to have. I would much rather go in with something like a hydrating sleeping mask or just a second layer of moisturizer rather than using something like this, because again, it is just so not practical to sleep with a product like this on your face. It can feel really uncomfortable, you look completely like an oil slick, and if you already have a proper skincare routine with a proper moisturizer, then using something like this is just definitely not necessary. Kinda completely overrated in my opinion. Alright everyone, and that completes this video of what in my opinion are overrated and overhyped skincare products. Again, these are just all my opinions as a skincare hobbyist who was not at all an expert. If you have different applications for these products or different uses that you love to use them for, I would love to know about them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like or a comment down below if you feel so inclined. If you haven't already, subscribe to stick around. I would so appreciate if you did, and until the next video, I will see you then. Bye!